Hello and welcome to the Writecome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from Writecome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled, Ignore the Competition. Now, how many times have you heard people saying to you, maybe in the past, oh, watch out for the competition. Watch out for the competition. They are going to steal your readers. They are going to steal money from your bank. They are going to do this and do that. And you need to watch out for your competitors because they are the people who's going to, close down your business, or it's going to affect it some way. That these are the ones you need to watch out for. And, for a lot of us, we are constantly on the lookout. We're looking at what is the competition writing about this month? What articles are they doing? What products are they creating? What are they doing over here? Or what way are they expanding? Or are they, doing podcasts? Or are they doing Facebook Lives? Or what they're doing? And we're constantly looking outward. And we feel that, the competition, we need to keep an eye on them because once they get a head start on us, well, they are going to take our readers, they're going to take our cash, and our business is going to wither away. And, going back a couple of weeks, if you had asked me that, I would have said, yeah, you do need to keep an eye on your competition. And it's only recently, the other day, where I had reading a really interesting book called The Wizard of Ads. And in that book, it's a series of kind of short articles. But one of the articles the writer had written about was that he said that when it comes to any businesses not doing well, it's not the competition that closes it down. It's actually the business owner. When you think about it for a moment, for example, maybe if we had maybe an offline business, maybe like a restaurant, maybe there are other restaurants in town and we could say, if that restaurant did close down, well, it was because the competition stole all their customers, they provide a better service or they did this or that, and that's why that business done well. And, the owner himself might say, well, the reason I did it was I just couldn't keep up with everybody. They reduced their prices or they did this and that. And he's kind of looking outward and he's blaming everyone else for his business closing. But if you looked at that business, I'm sure, you would see the kind of small cracks that start to appear on that business on the inside. And that's what made it fall apart. For example, I'm sure you probably have seen, or had maybe in your area, you might have this restaurant that's doing really, really well. It's got a great chef. And then all of a sudden something happens, that chef goes away and then they get someone else in the kitchen. And then all of a sudden the quality of the food goes down. And then that restaurant is a completely different place than it used to be. Or again, how many times have you been to maybe some restaurant and then you find they've got new staff in it? You walk in the door and, they'll hardly, acknowledge you at all. And when you sit at the table, you're kind of waiting for someone to take your order. And all the waiters are standing over in one corner and talking to each other and just not taking care of business. Or again, too, how many times have you maybe been to a restaurant, the food was good for a while, and then all of a sudden maybe the business owner decided, well, I'm going to get these ingredients from somewhere else, I'm going to pay less for them, which means I'm going to make a better profit on my meals. And then you find then the quality of the cooking goes down because he's working with inferior ingredients. So in all those cases, you can see that the reason that restaurant, disappeared, closed up, wasn't because of the competition. It was because of all the different things that the business owner themselves did. Hiring poor staff, getting rid of maybe a good chef, buying cheaper ingredients, or all different things that affected, how that restaurant did. And while you may look outward and say, oh, the competition took all my customers and, it's a really competitive town, was that really the case? Or was it not just him? And as I said, I would have said the same thing myself. I would have looked outward and said, oh, the competition, you need to keep an eye on the competition. You can't get them ahead of you. You need to copy what the competition's doing. You need to compete with them and, all that. But again, when I was thinking back, to some of my, failures in the past, the blogs that weren't successful, the products that I probably didn't do well, and a lot of the things, I can look at and say, oh, well, the competition is blamed for this and that. But when I looked at it and when I was honest with myself, I found that I was to blame for all those things. I was to blame because I wasn't writing to my blog very often, or maybe I was writing blog posts that weren't relevant to the marketplace. I was probably creating own products that I thought, everybody wanted, but I didn't really study and see what products sold well in the past and created a product along the same lines. And again, too, things, whatever I did in the past, a lot of the times the reason my business failed or the blogs failed or this or that went wrong was because of mistakes I made. It was never my competition that closed down my blog. It was never my competition who forced me to create those products. It was never my competition who told me I should write blog posts about this or that or the other. Those were all my decisions. And, because they were my decisions, well, the reason I had those failures was because of me. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. Maybe we need to kind of rethink our, what we think of competition. And, rather than seeing them as someone who is going to take our business from us, it's probably going to be us that is going to hand our business over to a competition by not actually doing our jobs properly, by not showing up as often as we should, by not maybe creating content as regularly as we should, maybe not creating as many, products or good quality products as we could have. And because we're not doing that, our customers are just leaving us and they're going for people who are providing better service, who are providing better content and better products. And while we complain and say, oh, the competition did all that, a lot of the times we just shot ourselves in the foot ourselves. So maybe it's time to ignore the competition and maybe just take better care of business. So as always, if you'd like to find out more about Writecome, or if you'd like to pick up a free copy of our great video course, which is called Bookmark Books, and in my course Bookmark Books, I'm going to show you how you can make money from your internet history. When you think about it, Facebook and Google is making a lot of money from the websites that you are visiting on a daily basis. So how would you like to make some money from it instead? So if you'd like to find out more about how to make money from your search history, go over to writecome.com. That's WRITECOME.com, and just put your details into the email opt-in box and I'll send you directly onto the video course. So as always, have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecome.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.